This is the next Nexus 7. You may remember that the first version of the 7-inch tablet launched a little over a year ago, and it received a lot of buzz thanks to its highly affordable $200 price point. No, it wasn't a perfect tablet, but it was certainly the best one we'd seen that cheap, not to mention with some pretty decent specs to boot. But a year is a long time in this industry, and so we're ready to bring on version 2.0 of the inexpensive tablet. This time around, it's got quite a few impressive specs, but you're looking at an extra $30 for the baseline model as a result. In the US, the LTE-capable model offers service on Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. This is a huge deal since we haven't seen any smartphone or tablet with both Verizon and AT&T radios available on the same unit. Lastly, since it's a Nexus device, you'll also likely receive Android updates over the air almost immediately after they come out. Speaking of which, the Nexus 7 comes with Android 4.3 on board. Now this is a largely minor refresh with some optimizations, some bug fixes, and developer APIs. But it does offer two important feature improvements. First, user accounts can now have restricted profiles, which means you can set up a user account for your kids that restricts which apps they use, while protecting your own profile with a special password to ensure the little ones don't mess with your personal stuff. Second, gaming is definitely improved thanks to the introduction of OpenGL ES 3.0. Now this offers better graphics and more capabilities than what we saw on Android 4.2. As a result, gaming is much more fun, and when we played games like Riptide 2, we noticed a lot more details and a lot fewer hiccups than what we've seen on older devices. The new Nexus is thinner, lighter, narrower, and taller than the original model, and it's much nicer to hold in your hand, or even your pocket provided you're not wearing tight pants. The rubber dimpled back is gone, but Asus, who makes the device, has chosen a matte finish that still feels great and rejects fingerprints. The bezels on the left and right are more narrow, but the top and bottom bezels are exactly the same. This choice was likely because Google wants to ensure that gamers have a good grip on the tablet when they're playing intense titles. But it does add a bit of an awkward look to the front of the Nexus 7. The display is the best we've seen on a tablet this size, and it's absolutely gorgeous. The viewing angles are tremendous, the colors appear natural, and it's bright, which is a must-have when you're using it in direct sunlight. Movies look great, and the stereo speakers help them sound great as well. The camera is surprisingly decent, though that's not saying much on a tablet. Battery life isn't as good on the original Nexus 7, but it'll easily get you through the course of a day and maybe even two, as long as you're not constantly gaming, which is an intense activity that drains your battery rather quickly. At $230, the Nexus 7 is still the best tablet you can get for a reasonable price, and in many ways it even bests the iPad mini, especially when it comes to the HD display, a feature the iPad mini unfortunately lacks. However, by getting the Nexus, you'll have to deal with a smaller number of apps that are optimized for the tablet experience. This is an area in which the iPad mini wins hands down. Still, it's difficult to justify paying an extra $100 for an equivalent device like the iPad mini, and it's even more difficult to justify the higher cost when you factor in more storage and LTE compatibility. The Nexus 7 offers the best bang for your buck, and the best part is that you don't have to spend too many of them to get your hands on one. Head to engadget.com to see our full written review of the new Nexus 7.